Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Chats with Ant and Rye. And this week we are talking about the 2024 movie, The Radleys, starring Damian Lewis and Kelly MacDonald, directed by Euros Lynn and based on the novel by Matt Haig. Something that I haven't read, but it is a
Mm.
family drama where the family is also a bunch of vampires. So mum and dad have been vampires for quite some time, and now their kids are starting to discover that they too are vampires. Uh, bit, it's an okay concept, but the
Yeah,
execution was just not done well. There's too many things that I just thought they just could have done this so much better.
mm.
Just um, let's talk for what, for instance, one thing is the mythology of their vampirism, where it's how they're sired and how they're turned, and it's there's just I think because it's based on the book. Obviously, in the book, there's a lot about that mythology, and it was just lost in an hour and 40-minute movie. You just
Y- Yeah, they kind of pick and choose whatever is convenient for the story, right? They can go in broad daylight and they don't sparkle like in Twilight.
yep,
um, but the garlic is something, but only if you are drinking blood because the kid likes garlic. It was just a bit confused as to, well, what are the rules? What kind of vampires are you?
yeah. Um, yeah, so walk around broad daylight. I did notice at the very beginning of the movie that they had on the bench an SPF 50 sunscreen. So I thought,
Mm.
is that just that's kind of clever? But then, yeah,
Yeah.
no, the reflections, that's just a bunch of nonsense. But then the uncle will kill people and drink their blood
And control
and
their
yeah, he
minds because it's
control that.
convenient in the plot at some point.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, just because yeah, just to obviously get the cops off the trail of the daughter who's killed somebody, and that's never mentioned again. You know, this poor lad's obviously been killed, and that's just a forgotten plot
that,
element.
that's
Like
it.
he's just
Even
that's
when
it.
the other dad, the ex-policeman, investigates and finds out that as well is being dropped towards the end. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
weird storytelling.
and the dad's just he's obsessed with vampires for some reason. There's no rhyme or reason for him to be obsessed with vampires.
Well, apparently because his wife got killed by a vampire.
No, no, they said that she just went missing. She just went missing one day, and they've never found her.
Yeah, but I think the son then it's towards the end says, this is what happened to mom." I mean, it's
All right.
very a fleeting moment.
See, it's
Yeah.
it's obviously just a conversation that just happened that you just
Oh,
forget
it's a
about.
one sentence stuff. If you miss it, that's it. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because because I went to rewatch it today. I watched it yesterday for the first time because I found it just so random that, all right, so Damien Lewis is playing the dad, Peter, but he's also playing Peter's twin brother, Will.
yeah,
And so these two kids, Rowan and Clara, don't know about Will until, Will's walked through the door for the first time, and Rowan's like, What the hell? Who are you?" But then there's a quick uh, mention that Clara is annoyed that Uncle Will is showing Rowan all the old music, and then Will's obviously helps her with the police. I thought that that was the first time that they'd seen it, met each other, and she's like, "Oh wow, that's
mm,
fantastic!" Because I'd written, "What's with the editing?" Because Clara's first meet of Will is when he, but no, just the editing was just done poorly. It's like that was the
yeah,
first time you've seen them meet, but she's okay with the fact that this Uncle Will's here now. Oh, that's just Uncle Will who I met today.
yeah.
Okay. Um. Oh. There's just dialogue that just doesn't seem organic as well. And it's just,
Mm.
when uh, I think it's when Evan is on talking to Clara. Yeah, they never found mum. That's just a really weird way of saying it. That just like, so I chose a poor film this week. Everybody,
It's
I've got more.
yeah, it's an okay. You get more. Go for it. Go for it.
Um, uh, how big is this town? It's like a small little coastal town, but then they go to this big, huge nightclub at one stage where there's like hundreds and
Yeah,
hundreds of people. Well, where are they? Are they in a small coastal town or are they in London? I don't know, but it
Vampire
was just
rules. It's
right. Yeah.
that's it. They
Oh,
travel like they turn into bats and they travel all the way to London.
they probably could have. Um, it was more of a family drama. If it presented itself as a family drama rather than a horror gothic kind of movie, I probably would have gone in going, "This is a family drama. It's not a vampire movie." I'd
Yeah,
probably be less annoyed by what I watched and what I came out.
and yeah, that's the thing. I think that would be my biggest gripe with the movie. I went in blind. I didn't even know it was about vampires. I just saw the poster with his family covered in blood with the blender, and it was described as a British horror comedy. I was like, okay, that can be dark and that can be funny, but I don't think they really hit the mark with horror because it's not very bloody, it's not very scary, it's not very gory, it's just very mild. And they don't hit the mark with comedy because I don't think I laughed even once. Maybe I sniggered
No,
a couple of times, but it was bland.
right.
I thought it was very bland.
It was just not fun to watch. The ending was just underwhelming. They've
Mm.
called Uncle Will in to help with the family drama, and then all of a sudden he's become the main antagonist, and then it's just a quick fight between Will and not Will, is it? Yeah, Will and Rowan, and then the parents go down and they kill Will, and then they get rid of the body, and that's it
Yeah,
because Will has attacked Evan, and then
yeah,
that's just the end of the movie. Well,
yeah.
and
It
obviously
it had a
Rowan turned.
very yeah, it had a very straight to DVD kind of feel,
Yes,
like
yep,
this kind of movies that are made very quickly and don't deserve, in air quotes, a theatrical release. It really felt like this. All the kind of movies when we're young and growing up that would be on the TV on
yeah,
a Sunday afternoon because if you don't have anything else to do, this is what you were going to watch. It really had this feel
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Um,
Definitely had a 1996 Foxtel kind of vibe towards it.
yeah,
Which
exactly.
I just
Um, but it's a shame because they had some good elements in there. If it was more about okay, the family is trying to cover up the murder and the police is after them and they need to go and deeper into the lies and the cover-ups, and that could have been cool.
yeah,
If it was more about them trying to abstain from murders and they were going a bit more into it, for example, the guy is a doctor and there is a scene where he's actually drawing blood from a patient and then instead of taking it to the lab, he's drinking it. They could have gone more towards, okay, maybe he's doing more as a doctor of like drawing bloods and going to a blood bank and I don't know, some funny ways of like how they are trying not to kill,
yeah,
but they also can't be very abstinent and trying to cover up their identity. I don't know. There was something in
yeah,
it that just didn't carry it out very well.
yeah. One thing I think it did well, I really bought the relationship between Evan and Rowan.
Mm.
I thought that was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Evan's, Rowan's pining from Evan from afar, and they finally, at the end, that kind of uh, Rowan has to save Evan's life, and that kind of brings them together. I thought that was nice. That was done fairly well.
Their relationship is good. I have an issue with the ending. First of all, I don't really understand why Will attacks Evan. He doesn't necessarily
No,
have any gripes against Rowan. It just feels like, okay, now you really want to make him the bad guy. So you just throw
yeah,
that in the script for some reason. But then there is also this thing about if someone is turning a person into a vampire, then they will pine for them, but they will always be prevented to love them. So it destroys the love story between Rowan and Evan. I don't like that. They had a very
yeah,
organic and natural love story. So even that, you messed it up towards the end. Why?
yeah, yeah. Especially like there was no indication that Will was going to do that. Like he was brought in to
No.
help, and he was a bit charismatic. We've got the mid-film revelation that Will actually turned the mum, whose
Yeah.
character's name I've misplaced, Kelly MacDonald's character, because she'd always thought that Peter had turned her, and that was kind of a interesting subplot, and then all of a sudden he's gone and tried to kill Evan for no reason. It's
Yeah.
just
It doesn't really lead
no,
anywhere, this
no,
plot twist, if you want to call it a plot twist. Doesn't lead anywhere.
it didn't.
It's a strange, very strangely written movie.
Yeah, no, it was just like a 5 minute it between him being found that he's all bloodied and been attacked and him being okay was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was yeah, not a good one.
Not the best.
Um, I think I've exhausted. Aside from the performances, I did believe most of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a fail for me.
Yeah. Agree. All right,
Scores.
let's go into scores.
I'm gonna be. I was gonna be nice to it, but I think it doesn't really get much more than a 1.5 out of 5.
Mm,
It's a not a recommend for myself.
yeah, well, yeah, I will give it a 2 out of 5. It's not horrible, doesn't rub me the wrong way, but it's also not good. It's pretty bland, and a few things don't really make sense. It doesn't hit the mark as to what it's trying to do. So yeah, 2 out of 5.
There you go. All right, short and sweet this week, everybody. But we will be back next week. As always, please let us know what you thought of this one, and leave us a comment in the comment section. Thanks so much.
Thanks, bye.